This year marks 10 years into my career as a more or less full-time coach devoted to the issue of relationships and helping people overcome retroactive jealousy. By the way, for the people who are new here, the term retroactive jealousy refers to unwanted intrusive thoughts, often obsessive curiosity, and what I call mental movies about a partner's past relationships and or sexual history. And sometimes when people learn about me and they hear about my job and they hear about my work, they hear about my books or whatever, they ask me, Zach, you've been at this for a long time. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you excited? What keeps you fulfilled? Why are you still doing this after a decade? So in today's video, I'm going to answer the question of what keeps me motivated after 10 years as a full-time retroactive jealousy coach. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been helping men and women from all over the world overcome retroactive jealousy and save their relationships. If you'd like more information about my work or you'd like to work with me one-on-one, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. It's still weird for me to say out loud that I've been at this for 10 years. I mean, I remember when I wrote my first book, Overcoming Retroactive Jealousy, when I was working on my very modest blog back, a decade ago. I could hardly imagine that it would take me to this point, that I would meet so many incredible people, that I'd be so fulfilled and motivated and inspired 10 years later to be doing this work. If you told me 10 years ago that I'd be here talking to you today, I might not have believed it. But here we are, and here I am. Needless to say, I have learned a lot over 10 years of one-on-one coaching when it comes to the issue of retroactive jealousy. The students in my online courses, you can find information about that in the description, but the students in my premium online courses have taught me so much about relationships and psychology and retroactive jealousy. I've interacted at this point with thousands, I mean that literally, thousands of retroactive jealousy sufferers from all over the world. And by the way, I know that they come from all over the world because I have had visitors to my website from literally every single country on the planet, hundreds of thousands of people over the years. So all of this is to say that I think I have a pretty good handle on this issue, frankly. I've spoken to a lot of people about their personal struggles with retroactive jealousy, and I'm still just as motivated and inspired by my job today as I was 10 years ago. So the obvious question is why? I often say that the path to freedom from retroactive jealousy is pretty much the same for everyone. There are differences along the way, but at this point, after 10 years of research, after 10 years of trial and error, after 10 years of thousands of student success stories and beyond, we know exactly what works and what doesn't when it comes to overcoming unwanted intrusive thoughts about your partner's past. The path to freedom, the path to peace is pretty clear. That said, every case of retroactive jealousy is a little different, obviously, because we're all human beings and each and every human being is a little different from all the other human beings. So in terms of what keeps me motivated and inspired, every time I show up for a new coaching call with a new client, I know I'm going to learn something. And chances are I'm going to learn something interesting because everyone's story of retroactive jealousy, everyone's story of life, of their relationship is going to be a little bit different. If I was having the exact same conversations with the exact same kind of person, over and over and over again for 10 years, I think I would have got pretty bored by now. I'm the kind of person I need to be continually stimulated. I need to be continually challenged. I need to be continually engaged. And thankfully, when you're doing one-on-one coaching, especially related to a relatively complicated issue like retroactive jealousy, your clients are always interesting. Their stories are always interesting and challenging, and there's always a lot to dig into because this is a complicated issue. I mean, it is. There are some aspects of it that are relatively simple, but at its core, retroactive jealousy can bring up a lot of complicated issues, complicated themes, complicated questions. And my clients, frankly, are never boring. Those calls are never boring for me because I'm continually challenged. I'm continually learning something, and I know I've got to continually up my game to meet the demands, to meet the needs, really, of each and every new client. But maybe the biggest thing that keeps me motivated and inspired as a coach after 10 years is the fact of what comes after someone overcomes retroactive jealousy. There's a whole section on my website, maybe my YouTube editor can post a card above my head here. There's a whole section on my website devoted to student success stories, students who went through my online courses and who've arrived at the other side, who've arrived at freedom from retroactive jealousy. And frankly, their stories are what keep me motivated and inspired 10 years later. Because their stories should be inspiring to every retroactive jealousy sufferer, I think. And you have to understand that overcoming retroactive jealousy can truly be like a gateway drug, if you like, into deeper knowledge of self, into a better relationship, into more peace of mind, not just in your relationship, but in every aspect of your life, into greater appreciation of the present moment and greater appreciation of your life and all the gifts you've been afforded. Overcoming retroactive jealousy can be the beginning of an incredible new chapter in your life. I'm certainly living proof of that. I mean, in some ways, this might sound melodramatic, but I can kind of divide my life and my personal development as a man into before retroactive jealousy and after. That's how much of a difference it can make in terms of transforming who you are. Now, of course, every story, again, is a little different. Every person is a little different. And for some people, it's just a minor annoyance that they manage to work their way through and it doesn't result in big changes in their life, in their outlook, in their relationships. That's fine. But for many, many people, it is a big deal. Overcoming this issue can lead to so many benefits in so many different areas of their life. And really, that's what keeps me motivated and inspired. While helping people overcome retroactive jealousy, get rid of the unwanted intrusive thoughts and all that, that's great. That's very satisfying. That makes me very happy. I love getting those emails. But the emails I appreciate even more, the emails I like even better from people who've been through my courses or my coaching clients, for example, are the people who tell me their relationship has never been better. They've never had more fun with their kids because they're so able to stay present in the present moment. Or maybe people who are getting engaged because they finally got retroactive jealousy behind them. Or people who are on the cusp of divorce and managed to turn things around with some help from me and maybe one of my courses. And all of a sudden, they're getting engaged or they're getting remarried or they're avoiding divorce because they managed to overcome retroactive jealousy. And at the risk of sounding pompous, I kind of like to think about my work as having a bit of a ripple effect in the world. And again, this is going to sound totally pompous and whatever, but I don't care because it's true. So I have to tell myself and I have to think, if I impact, for example, one coaching client in a positive way, what impact is that going to have on his relationship with his wife and maybe his kids and maybe his friends and maybe his wider community and maybe his state and all, you can kind of trace that all through the world if you're being ambitious, shall we say. So really, that's what keeps me motivated. That's what keeps me inspired because yes, I'm helping people overcome retroactive jealousy, but at the same time, I also hope I'm opening them up to experiencing greater joy and happiness and love in their relationships with other people, in their lives in general. I hope I'm helping them have better lives. And again, at the risk of sounding totally pompous, I have a lot of evidence that that's exactly what I'm doing. So if you ask me what keeps me motivated and inspired after 10 years of doing this work, that's it. Of course, I absolutely love helping people overcome retroactive jealousy, helping people slay this beast once and for all. That's very satisfying. But in many ways, what keeps me even more excited and motivated and engaged is helping people achieve what comes after retroactive jealousy. That's really what's keeping me here after 10 years. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I hope I wasn't too pompous, but it is what it is. I need to be honest. Thanks for being here. If you got anything out of this video, please click the like button. You can leave a comment telling me what you think. And while you're at it, please be sure to be subscribed to my channel as well to be notified of new videos moving forward. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.